Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I like the new angle.
I just moved it over there so it hit the corner.
I know what you did. It's pretty obvious, but it's more Pikachu, less decrepit sex dungeon.
Fuck you. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I gotta move this mic a little bit.
Yeah, so I to be accurate, I didn't spill whiskey on my keyboard. I spilled part of my Boulevardier on my keyboard.
What? What is Boulevardier?
It's a cocktail with Campari, whiskey, sweet vermouth, and just a dash of bitters. It's like a Negroni, but with whiskey instead. And I'm using this special bottle of Maker's Mark. And it's special because
Campfire Crunch.
It's a made with special staves for one of our local liquor stores, and it's got Deadpool on the back.
What? That's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah. All right. Shall we get this train rolling?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Happy belated Valentine's Day to all the sexy internet trolls out there. This is episode 8, I think, now of the Geeqoid podcast. If you're listening to this, all the other episodes have been released. So,
Oh, good. Have they?
No, but when this is, the other ones will definitely be.
Okay, good. Everybody's just gonna get fucking slammed with all these episodes.
Yeah, I know. I mean, in all fairness, I was doing editing today during lunch, so we're going to start seeing a steady trickle.
Was it hard? Was it easy?
It's not hard. It's relatively easy and straightforward with the tools now. It's cutting up the audio, inserting the transitions, and then exporting it, or putting it into our provider platform, and then getting the transcript, and the transcript through AI to generate the show notes, and then edit the show notes. It takes a little bit of time, and that's not something I have a lot of with a job and a child and the second job, and But I'm going to get the process down so that it's easier, and I should be able to streamline it, to be completely honest.
Is Riverside helping?
I do like the Riverside interface. I haven't tried to use it for the actual editing itself, and I think I'm going to attempt that in the near future. They've been rolling out more editions, and I think I can tweak the audio I have to make it fit within their parameters and limitations. So one of the reasons I haven't moved to it is because Riverside gives you not great control. So if I want to drop a music clip in, like our intro music, I can do a 5-second buildup or a 10-second buildup, but I that's it. I can't time it down to the frame, which is the exacting precision that my obsessive ass wants when I'm doing editing and tweaking, because that's my background. So it's like, how do I, for me right now, it's like, how do I tweak those transition audios so that it plays nicely with Riverside and I don't have to worry about it? Because if I can do that, that would be amazing, and I can take advantage of everything that Riverside has to offer. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think our intro music is probably a little bit too long right now. It's like almost 30 seconds. I mean, it's a 30-minute, 45, 60-minute podcast, but people just want to get to the content, That's the feedback I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I hear it all the time.
Do you have a good weekend? You didn't do anything special for the V Day?
Because I am currently working on Saturdays, no. Like, I got home like 3-ish, 3:10-ish. I don't know, whatever. It was after 3. And so, no. She went to the grocery store. She bought me flowers, which I actually
Oh.
shed a little tear because I secretly have always wanted to get flowers. I
Aw,
buy
that's
flowers
nice.
for people all the time, and I never get them. And I'm like, hey, I wouldn't mind getting flowers. So she got me flowers, and I made one of her favorite little pasta dishes. And then we went upstairs and played board games and, video games and puzzles and stuff. So we just kept it very chill for the weekend. What
Very
about you?
nice. We had our first night away from our kid.
Oh,
Yeah, we went to Detroit for the night, which is like an hour and a half away. Got a hotel room at the nice Westin Book Cadillac downtown, and got upgraded. Thank you, Marriott. And then went out to dinner, went out for cocktails afterwards, and just did what we did before we had a kid, and just had fun together. And it was a nice reprieve. It was, and then got up next morning, had brunch at our favorite brunch spot downtown, and it was a little indulgent. The weather was not great, and like it's one of those things where you don't dress for the occasion. I mean, at least Rachel didn't. Like, she wore this cute little black dress and these heels, and it was snowing all day Saturday. So of course, we didn't take a cab or anything or an Uber. We just were stomping around downtown Detroit through the snow, and we definitely found the biggest puddle in all of Detroit. It was probably about 3 inches deep on our way to the restaurant.
that stinks, man.
So yeah, there was that part of it. It wasn't too great, but once we got inside, we warmed up, and all things considered, it was a really good time.
It snowed here too. Snowed Sunday here.
Yeah,
Which made us even more so be like, oh, we're going to stay in PJs and go straight upstairs and just forget the world.
yeah, and then we got back, and then we had people over on Sunday evening, and no one of those people are listening to this podcast, but I can tell you I overserved everybody, and it did not end well. I've never seen such ugly, runny makeup from tears.
Oh, yeah? Oh, no.
Not from my wife, no. From some of the other parties that we're visiting. Some people just can't hold their liquor, and, it's just, c'est la vie.
Whew, on a Sunday.
Yeah. Like, it's Sunday at midnight. These people got to work next day.
No, thank you very much.
But anyway, I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Like, I just kind of scrambled a docket together at the last minute.
And there's even stuff to discuss in past episodes if you ever want to do that.
Oh yeah, crap! I was going to put together like a whole AI episode, but let's give it a little time because there's so many things happening right now. I want stuff to quiet down. I mean, some of the stuff I'm going to talk about is AI related. But first, I want to start with the latest Captain America movie.
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, of course not.
I have not either. Hey, it doesn't look bad. However, the reviews are not good at all.
The premise, like, I like Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America. Like, I'm all for that. I think getting Harrison Ford to be Red Hulk just screams of money grab. Like, and that's what people were saying of RDJ coming back for Avengers Doomsday. And while I do partially agree with that, I believe there is some foundational canon, at least, for that.
And he's just, I mean, he's so magnetic.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Like, and it's such a part of him. But like Harrison Ford, like I don't think he needs the money, but maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe he's got a gambling problem or something on the side. But like from what I hear, not his greatest performance, and it's like, yeah, like I said, it just feels like a money grab.
well, and some of the people like from IGN, I think were stating too, are you trying to use this movie to pull in and tie all of these weird loose ends over the last 10 years? And if so, boy, did you fucking suck at it.
Well, loose ends. It's like they're creating new loose ends. I feel. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
The one good positive thing I can say is trying to give some semblance to the giant fucking head that's in Antarctica or wherever it is, and that being our adamantium. So then our
I did hear that, so I am happy because that was one of my biggest gripes. Is that we've had what, half a dozen movies since the Immortals, and no one has even just, like, referenced the fact that there's just a giant being just ensconced in the earth.
yeah,
Like,
with a giant hand, and so adamantium. So I'm curious. I mean, we've been curious for years how Feige's going to introduce the X-Men. So
yeah,
now,
well,
one thing I am excited for, the review was not good for that movie, but the trailers for Fantastic Four so far have gotten me super peaked. And I think I said
which we talked about last episode.
Okay, and so in one of the last episodes, I'll say it again. Like, that one I will go to the theater to go see.
And Thunderbolts. I mean, I've heard people just kind of trashing Thunderbolts a little bit, but I like the trailer.
Yeah,
I
I do
think
too.
it seems on the same level as Suicide Squad in
Yep.
rompy fun. Which,
Yep. And I like rompy fun.
yeah,
So-
I don't even know how you would describe the new Captain America movie. Just overly serious.
It was supposed
Train
to
wreck.
be. It was supposed to be another like spy movie, espionage esque, like Civil War was. But I don't know if they nailed that very well. Unfortunately.
I mean, Civil War had the benefit of having multiple characters that you've watched developed over a dozen movies, and here you're just like, okay, we got Anthony Mackie. Let's just introduce Red Hulk.
And introduce one of the Young Avengers, which is like the younger version of Falcon. I'm like, oh, okay, let's just introduce him too.
I didn't even realize that. So spoilers, retroactively. We're not really going to miss day.
No,
All right. I want to do transition to AI. I don't know if you remember this humane AI pin that was launched, like, I think last year at CES or sometime around that. So it was basically an $800 pin that you would get, and you would wear it like on your lapel or something, and it would record, and it like had all these functionalities.
there were two that came out, right?
Yeah, there was more than one for sure.
Marquez did a review on both of them. But
Yeah.
I don't. That's all I remember.
So it came out today that this pin that you could buy for $800 will stop working in 10 days.
So I guess they're doing really good with their sales and their development.
So the company says that the AI pins will continue to function normally until 12 p.m. Pacific time on February 28th. On that date, users will lose access to essentially all of their device's features, including but not limited to calling, messaging, AI queries, and cloud access.
Did they say? Did they give an explanation why?
The FAQ does note that you'll still be able to check your battery life, though.
My God.
So I think like this is one of the fatal flaws in this product from the get-go. And I like this came out before we had a podcast, and I think I actually trashed it on a different podcast that I was on a year ago. Like we have a limited number of devices that we're willing to carry on ourselves, on our persons. And why am I going to add an additional device that does all the same things that my phone does?
Yep. And that has been the critique of many other people. And even some of the reviews have said, like, it half works also. So, like, why have something that we already have in our pocket or on our wrist and it half does the job?
Yeah. So this reinforces the concept that I have that if you're going to buy an AI enabled device, maybe don't purchase the first gen of a new company. I don't see how those companies can compete against Google and Microsoft and Facebook and Apple. Like they have the war chests and the wherewithal and the know-how to produce great products. And this company produced...
Dude, there was a monthly fee to also use it. $24 a month. Wow.
That's
really shitty. Jesus.
I really want to know what the I want to see the investor pitch deck, because like they raised venture capital for this, and I mean this is, I'm sure they raised during the ZIRP era. So ZIRP is ZIRP, which is zero interest rate percentage, and that's when the venture capital market was super frothy and startups were just raising tons of money because investors had nowhere to put their money because interest rates were at effectively zero. And you could raise a huge valuation, especially around AI companies. And I'm sure this was part of that. But
how many people? So the company is going to go under. I'm curious how many people work for the company, and then will some of those people then go to the other AI? What is that? Rabbit R1 or Rabbit?
So Rabbit, yeah, that was another one. I don't know the status of Rabbit, but apparently today's discontinuation announcement was brought about by the acquisition of Humane by HP, which is buying the company's intellectual property for $116 million.
Wow. Whoa. Oh, and what's HP going to do? Or are they going to add that into their laptops? What are they?
I have no idea, because like they have no interest in the hardware business. Like, but it's not like these aren't solved problems. I am so confused by this acquisition.
HP of all companies.
Okay, so here it is. Like, HP says the acquisition will bring Humane's engineers, architects, and product innovators to a new team called HPIQ, which it describes as an AI innovation lab focused on building an intelligent ecosystem across HP's products and services for the future of work.
Sounds like UX, not AI. Am I wrong, or am I wrong?
Well, so, I mean, UX is
User experience.
User experience, yes, but traditionally doesn't deal so much with the technology and the hardware and the underlying engineering of solutions. Like it's mostly just the human-computer interaction, which is. But I don't think that holds as much water as it used to. That being said, like, this team created a product that, however innovative, failed to find product market fit. So you pay them a bunch of money to bring them in-house to, what, build you a product that won't find product market fit? There have been a lot of terrible acquisitions over the years. I think I think Skype might be one of the worst ones by Microsoft. Like they acquired the leader in voice over IP technology, like video calling just over the internet, and they had it for years, and then they Zoom came in and kicked their ass.
Yeah.
Like how do you screw that up?
Yeah, I was using Skype for years, and then Zoom came in, and no one, including myself, ever looked back at it.
It blows my mind, and this just screams to me like one of those acquisitions. And here's the thing: I think the people at Humane are absolutely brilliant. For them to come up with the technology, packaged all together in the form factor that they did, is brilliant. But I don't know how they're going to integrate this and build solutions around HP's product portfolio. It just, I mean, here's the thing. I use an HP laptop every day at work and I hate it.
Same. That is the number one, no one buys Lenovo, think laptops unless you're hardcore engineering. They all buy HP chintzy laptops because they can get a shit ton for absolutely low prices.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's because they don't have an AI strategy. That would be my guess.
I guarantee you that's what it is.
And here it is. They spend $116 million on this acquisition to say they're getting into AI. And the stock price goes up $200 million.
Oh, did it?
No, I should check, but I mean that's easy enough to do. But that's my guess, is that it's a calculated thing for let's see, yeah. They're up 1.7% today, which equates to where is their market cap? Their market cap is $32 billion, so 2% of that is a lot more than $100 million. So yeah, in the short term, it looks like a good deal. But you know what? That's why I don't play the stock market like this, because it's, in the long term, they're gonna have to write it off probably. Yeah. Or I don't know. Maybe they'll figure out how to integrate it into their products. But I don't know. I don't think we should spend any more time talking about this, because it seems like a total waste of time.
It's gross.
I can't believe they got that much money. I thought they were going to sell the company for parts, because the adoption was so bad. But this is going to be probably a Harvard Business School case study.
You think so?
How to launch a business, completely fail, but still succeed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, how much did HP buy them for?
$116 million.
That's crazy. That's nuts. I hope everybody got a nice little share.
That's a lot of Nintendo Switches.
It is a hell of a lot of Nintendo Switches.
All right, moving right along, still on the AI train. XAI, which is associated with X, formerly known as Twitter, has launched Grok 3 AI, which it claims is capable of human reasoning.
Oh, no.
So there's a few things to unpack here. What's going on?
Just so I can... more laptops, the better. That's what I say.
Because we don't have video yet, Jared is just pulling out iPad cases and rearranging his office space so he can have more access to information on the fly. He can't keep up with me with my 14 monitors.
No. One day.
So, just a little bit of context. Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter, you just shake your head. I understand the disgust, but just.
Oh, I'm listening.
So he formed XAI in competition to OpenAI because OpenAI, surprisingly, is not that open. They're actually moving from a nonprofit to a for-profit, which makes you scratch your head. And none of their models have been released as open source. So it's very much closed AI. I kind of share that sentiment. I don't agree with everything Elon does, but I do appreciate capitalism and competition in the market. So Elon formed XAI, bought a fuck ton of NVIDIA GPUs, built the largest supercluster in less than a year. People said you couldn't string together more than 30,000 GPUs. He did 65,000 GPUs or something like that.
Good God.
In less than a year, and did this all down in Memphis. I think it was Memphis. And said, hey, we're training a new model. So they launched this new model, claims it's capable of human reasoning. Allegedly, it's beating all the other models on the current benchmarks that people use to evaluate the models. I have not tried it yet. I do have access to Grok 3, so maybe next time I can do a demo or we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But like in the last week, we had DeepSeek from China come out and compete with OpenAI. Like the stuff is just, it's hot. Like this is a space that if you're not following on a day-to-day basis, like when I take vacation in a few months, like I don't know what's going to, like I'm going to come back and it's going to be a different world. Like I don't know if I can return to the workforce. This is how I feel. Because I work in AI every day and
they're all racing. Is this the new space race?
Oh, it is. It is the space race times 10, I would argue. I mean, like the space race was just, here's the thing. Our technological improvements have compounding effects. Like the space race was like, let's all put rockets in space and maybe land them on the moon. Like, but here's the thing. We make improvements to the processors. We make improvements to the AI. That allows us to make faster improvements to the processors and faster improvements to the AI. It's a compounding effect. So the gains that you would see over a decade in the 60s, we see that in a year in the 2020s, which is what is difficult as mammals for us to wrap our heads around is the pace of technology is accelerating, even if we don't think it is. And so, like, people are talking about, AI is going to get rid of a whole bunch of jobs. And while I agree it will, I think it's going to get rid of a lot of jobs we don't want and we don't care about. I mean, people argue self-driving is going to get rid of all the Uber drivers. But you know what? Being an Uber driver wasn't a thing 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to create a lot more jobs than it is going to destroy. And it's going to create industries we can't even wrap our heads around.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like, I don't know. Like, it'll be a new industrial era, but technological era.
Yeah, you think about when the automobile came about, and it's like we didn't have roads, we didn't have gas stations, we didn't have convenience stores even. Like just whole industries exploded. Like, yeah, maybe the people who were responsible for putting shoes on the horses couldn't make a living anymore, but there's plenty of other jobs that I would argue are a lot better. And it's so difficult to wrap your head around what those future industries might be. And here's the thing, I'm sure the people in the automobile industry thought the same thing. They're like, oh, I can go to my friend's house a whole lot faster. But then like everything started to expand. And I think it's going to take us time to understand what these new industries are. But I think it's really exciting, and I'm happy to be alive now.
Yeah, it's happening so fast, this whole push for AI, that I still don't even know, like, I guess the full breadth of it. But man, everybody is just like buying McLarens and racing as quickly as possible to get whatever the hell they have in their back pockets developed.
I was like, sorry, you know people who have McLarens? Because I don't know anybody.
Sure they do. I'm sure Elon does.
But I mean, like, for us, like, I know there's nobody listening, but if there were people listening, they'd probably be asking, like, how can I get ahead of this? Like, how can I not get swept up in the disruptive tidal wave of change? And what I would argue is just start using the tools. Start using AI. Like, go to, like, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, just whatever you want. They're all good. They're all getting better every week.
And you can, there's apps for them you can put on your iPhone or whatever. There's Gemini you can put on
for
your
free.
iPhone. Yeah.
Like I wouldn't recommend DeepSeek because China. But I mean, there's a decent amount of free options where you can get exposure, and like just start using it. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, here's the thing. Yeah, it's a blank canvas problem, and this is a problem that I've dealt with multiple times in my career as a product manager. Is like, how do you introduce a new user to your software when they have no existing content, when they have no existing nothing? How do you get them to start? And a lot of these tools, they offer like 4 typically, because that's a standard industry standard apparently, is just, I'm going to give you 4 prompts right above the chat box to get you started. But like, think about what you do on a day-to-day basis, not in the physical realm, because obviously ChatGPT isn't going to fold your laundry for you.
Sure.
But if you need to come up with a list of something, like, that is...
Would you consider, so I watched a YouTube video that I thought was really fascinating. I think I shared it with you, and if I didn't, I really need to. He does video work in California, and then he has his own YouTube channel. And he was trying to figure out, I want to create this new studio. His wife and his kids and him moved to a new house, so he has a new room, and he wanted to create something different. And he used ChatGPT to basically have a conversation and think tank ideas and bounce ideas back and forth. And then ChatGPT was creating images and multiple images until he crafted this studio that I think is fucking gorgeous. And I think that I would like to start using, like, I don't know, this little corner of my room. Instead of me just willy-nilly trying shit out, which is also fun. But, like, really come up with some ideas, and this AI take my ideas and actually give me things that I've never even thought about before.
So I think that's one part of it. I think there's another avenue that you could totally go down that would just be fun. And I've seen this done a few times on Instagram Reels and whatnot, is you take an image, or you ask it to generate an image, and then you ask it to refine it or edit it and be like, make it more nerdy. So I would take your background right now and be like, make it more nerdy. And I would do that about 5 or 6 times. Each time. And it is absolutely an engagement trap. But it's a lot of fun because you're curious what the AI is going to do to make it more nerdy.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds really fun.
And I'm willing to bet the Pikachu's just going to get bigger and maybe more Pikachus every time.
That's great. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's fun. Even more so, I want to try it.
Yeah.
But you're right. Get out there, download the apps, and just try.
Yeah, so I'm going to build on that too because I went to Microsoft hosted so they're doing an AI tour all across the world in different cities, showcasing all the different developments that they're doing in different areas of the Microsoft stack. So I went on Wednesday last week to Detroit, and in Detroit twice in 1 week. It was kind of crazy for me. But they were showcasing a lot of things, and I have a lot of takeaways, and I'm still working on summarizing that and putting that into a presentation for my current company. But I'll do some distillation, I think, probably for our audience when I actually go do a deep dive in AI. But really, surface level takeaways is like we're looking at AI in like 3 different waves. So you have the OG wave, which was machine learning, like just raw crunching numbers. And then you have the second wave, which we're in the middle of, which is generative AI. These are these large language models. You put stuff in, you get stuff out. Might be accurate, might not be. But it's images, text, video, sound, like anything you can imagine. We're at the point where it can generate it. And then this third wave that's often been referred to as agentic AI is where we have these agents that take actions on our behalf.
Oh.
So this is the future that I think people envision when they think of AI. It's like, book me a hotel room in the Bahamas for this date. I want these amenities, and I don't want to pay more than this amount, and I want it to be at least this many stars.
Okay. Yep.
And that agent will go off, and it will look at all the hotels available that meet the criteria, and then maybe it'll call on other agents to actually try and haggle. Be like, I have a customer who's wanting to book this, but they're also investigating other hotels. Like, can you do a better price than what you have listed?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's more than just
the second part is like that blew me away.
Yeah. Okay. So that is, I think, where we're going to get to. It's going to take us a while, and here's what I think. This is so true for technology across the board, is that people overestimate how quickly we're going to get to a certain point in the near term, but underestimate how quickly we'll get there in the long term. So in the next year or two, all of our workflows are not going to be replaced. Like I'm actively working in figuring out how to use AI to augment our business processes for retail distribution, supply chain, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it's going to take us this many months to get to this point, this many months to get to this point, and then this many months to get to this point, which is when we might actually finally use AI. So it's going to take a while. But the long term, like 10 years, like, it is mind-blowing to think what's going to happen. So I was talking with my wife, Rachel. I was like, I don't think our son's ever going to need to learn how to drive.
Yeah? Can you unbox that?
I mean, we're already at the point where self-driving is fairly prevalent in a lot of areas. Like Tesla FSD, full self-driving, is pretty good from what I hear. It's doing millions of miles a year. We have Waymo, which is operational in a number of cities, I believe San Francisco, Austin, running driverless taxi services.
Oh, I saw them in New York City. Yep.
And I guess New York City. Was there a safety driver?
I don't remember.
Okay. I think there probably was. I don't think New York has given the green light on safety driverless Waymos yet.
They're testing. You're correct.
Yeah, but they're testing. They're doing this evaluation, and like it's 2025. My kid will be 16 in 15 years, so that's what 2040. That's a long time from now. I'm pretty sure. Like you look at the compounding effect of technology, and it's. I have to imagine self-driving is going to be close to perfected by that point. Like there might be some hiccups along the way, but so far self-driving has proven to be a lot safer than human driving.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah, it does. They're requiring a human safety driver to sit behind the wheel for right now. That's nuts. I didn't even put that idea in my head. As soon as we get off, I gotta tell Katie, like, hey, you fucking Stellan's probably not gonna have to drive when he hits 16.
I mean, driving is just one component, but also like
Yes, but like
education is going to be completely transformed. Like, are colleges going to be a thing when any knowledge that you want is accessible at the speed of thought, almost? Like,
what will that do for our thoughts? Like, will that slow our brains down that we don't have to go out and dig and search? Or will it be something else?
You're touching on an area that I do not think is really talked about at all. And maybe that's something that we should dig into. I know we're coming up on time, but what are the psychological effects of AI on the human population? Like,
what do you mean?
Like it's going to start replacing a lot of our thinking for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we won't have to do certain tasks and certain thoughts. And I know a lot of people are saying that's a boon that unburdens us, but at the same time, like, are we capable of reconditioning? Like, we've been conditioned to do certain things over millennia and over evolution, and things are changing so quickly. Like, are we going to be able to adapt? I'm sure there's going to be civil unrest in some areas that certain populations are going to just revolt completely. But it's going to result in a lot of new interesting paradigms.
Yeah. I know they talk about AI, especially for creativity, and it's huge in, Hollywood, and there's even certain things that are in effect. I don't remember the use of AI. However, somebody just, and I'm saying somebody, because unfortunately I don't remember at the moment, but I do remember the conversation, and the conversation was, it was a director, and he entered things into ChatGPT, and it spit out like this really great script, and he was like, I could totally sell this script and probably make the movie. if Warner or anybody gave me, and that gave the podcast was Kevin Smith's podcast, and Kevin writes and his partner also writes, and they were like, okay, that's a little nervous. That's cool, but it makes us a little nervous as far as like the work and the energy and the research and that creativity. What do you do, I guess?
Yeah, so I think this is we should really do an episode on AI and creative work, and maybe I'll just leave a teaser. Is that I think AI is not going to steal the jobs of writers. I think the jobs of writers is going to change because it's the creative industry has had a very awkward waterfall process for the longest time, and I don't understand this doesn't exist in all areas, but like you have writers or people who sell a script, and the script gets bought, and then the director gets hired by the studio to produce the thing, and then they hire a producer, and it's like all these different steps, and the person who originally conceived of the idea is 27 steps removed from the final people who are doing the editing and production and all that. And I have to believe, I mean, at least for me as a creative, like I want to be involved beginning to end. And yeah, maybe there's some people who just want to write scripts and then just throw them away and like get paid for it. Like that's totally fine too. Like, and I'm sure there's still going to be living, probably not as viable with AI, but I think AI is really going to empower the people who want to have that creative authority across the entire process. And I think that's really where it's going to shine. And I think that's, it's going to be really disruptive for Hollywood. Like people are talking about like, oh my gosh, this movie gen, like I could take this single image and I can generate. It's like, yeah, you can do some okay B-roll, but at the end of the day, like it is not replacing actors right now, and it's not going to for at least the next 5 years. Like I haven't seen anything that does anything relatively compelling. Like, and all the engagement farmers on X and on Instagram, they're just like, oh my God, check out the latest. And I'm like, yeah, okay, this is still garbage. Like, I know what's what. And this is like, people will post like, oh, this is the new Doomsday trailer for Avengers. And I'm like, yeah, no, in the first 2 seconds, I can tell this is AI generated. Like, you're not fooling anybody. Like, this is just Tom Holland's head with his mouth open. So yeah, I think I do think writers are scared, but I think the writers who have more agency, who want to be more involved with the projects going forward, and that's I'm not in Hollywood. I've never worked in Hollywood, so I can't speak to any of this.
Me neither.
I do know people in Hollywood. Maybe we should have them on, but.
That'd be cool.
Like a lot of times, like there's a writer's room and they're planning out an entire season in this room. And you think about that Sunny Day in Philadelphia meme where he's just like, everything is pinned in Post-it notes. Like that's what a lot of writers do. Like they don't just write a script and drop it and leave. Like they're putting everything together, and like AI will just fabricate stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this character didn't actually date that character. You accused him of it. Like, so like there's a lot of fact checking that would need to happen, like especially with this current gen. Maybe the next generation of AI will improve, but I don't know. I think it is mostly a creative boon.
I do too.
And
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it's adopted. I understand the resistance, but for the people who are, and I'm probably going to catch some heat for this, but thankfully I don't have any followers. I genuinely think this is a good thing for creatives. And as someone who's trying to produce their own original content, it has been incredible.
I hope so. As somebody who is on his own, I don't have any creative folks around me, near me, in my area physically. I think in that regard, it will be very beneficial.
Time will tell. And on that note, I think we're going to sign off.
Yeah, I got to get Katie ready. She's getting up at 3:30 to get on a flight to go to Detroit for 3 days.
Detroit.
She is going to some BCBA clinical doctor, master's, licensed people conference. I don't think she's speaking at this one, but she's going. So she'll be there Wednesday, and then she'll fly back Friday evening.
All right. Well, if she wants any recommendations for places to go, things to do, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, just send me texts, actually, because, I mean, why not? Just send them to me when we get off.
Sure, I might.
Geeqoid.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, bitch.
Peace out.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
End of transmission.